are live at 11:05 on BC with Spirit Cars, and Josh, the guy that just had technical difficulties getting his phone into the contraption with the little speaker and all that. But anyway, Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, is under control. Do we see your hand? Wave your hand down a little bit. We'll see that. There you go. Yeah, he's still adjusting, but we're here. We're here. Yesterday I said I was going to stay focused on one project at a time till I get it done. Well, that's easier said than done. I've been doing a lot of different things, but I did make progress, and I've been waiting on you to get here. So now that you're here, let's show them how to snap this fuse block in here.
Okay.
You want to go from that side to this side?
Here we go. Got it now. All better.
Okay. So I said how easy it is. Now we'll see if I was kidding or not. So what I've done is, you can see I've got the wires stuffed in here. I should have put a light in here for you to see, but you can see the wires come down. See that?
Sort of.
And they come down the other side. I've got a piece of wood behind here, and that's going to stiffen it up for my gas pedal, and this little bracket here that holds the fuse block in. It's already secured. So I'm good to go there. And I like to put it so that it's the right direction. There's a panel that goes on top of this. That way when you snap it on, you can read it right side up instead of upside down. When I did my wiring, I bench built all this. There was a couple things like a heater and things like that, the wires I didn't need. I just snipped them out of the back of the fuse block. That way I don't have them extra wires running around. This car is not going to have running lights. It's going to have turn signals in the front. So I left those wires come down, and I put them in there just in case the customer decides sometime in the future that he does want to run that. So anything you think you might use, don't cut it out, but stuff you know you won't use. This car won't have wipers, so we didn't need to have the wipers and things like that. So I come across here. Just kind of line it up to where it goes. Snap it in. I can run these up here now. Now this is what makes it real easy. These will come around. This here is going to come up here. I'm going to hide it up under here. This is for your dimmer switch. And you'll just, by your hand, you can put the dimmer on and off. It's a lot better than putting it on the floor. There's not a lot of floor room on here anyway. This will plug into your column. So once the column's in there, it just plugs in. You'll have your turn signals, your horn button and everything.
That's for a GM column.
For GM column. All my gauges will be right there. I got my hole cut. I got a cover somewhere for it. I got a hole cut for my ignition switch. My headlights are here. Goes over on this side. Now I've got all my gauges are pre-done here, and they come out in two different looms. So what's going to happen when I put my gauges up here? It'll be real easy for the first one. Will be, I'd have to read what they are, but this one's going to be the oil sending. So my oil sending wires are going to come right out here. I can take all my wires now, go ahead and hook them to my gauge and put my gauge in. Then I've got the 3 wires that I have left. A pink wire, that would be a fuel sending unit. So here's my wires for the fuel sending unit. I can hook that up. On this particular one, we're using a mechanical speedometer and odometer. We do have electronic ones also. It's a little bit different, but we'll have to run the cable down. Same over here. Now these set of wires will come up on this side. Just 2. That would be your voltmeter, and then we'll have whatever's left, the oil temperature, water temperature. Then we have the 3 wires left for your turn signals. We have a high beam, low beam indicator, and your left and right turn signal. What we'll do is we'll put those in here. We got some cute little ones. I don't have the holes drilled yet, but we'll have those put in there. So gauges are much easier if all this is pre-wired on the bench before you even come up here and put it in the car. Otherwise, you'd be under this car and you'd be doing all this on your back, and when you get old, it's not as easy as it was when you were 20. So, not a big deal. At this point, I should be able to put my gauges in, and under an hour, I'll have all my gauges in. Yesterday, we talked about running the headlights, and I had a couple different looms. You can see on this side here, Josh. I've got this set of wires coming out. What we're going to have here is this will be a starter wire. This will go to your this powers the fuse block. This will go to the starter. And we've got oil pressure and water pressure or water temperature. So this will all come out this side. On this side, I've got things like my horn, the fan wire, and choke, electric choke is over here. So these are coming run down along the side of the frame. What I did, I drilled a couple holes in the top of the frame over here, and then I just took, we showed it yesterday, I had a big long welding wire. I just ran out of the MIG welder and stuffed it down the frame, had it come up here. So I've got my 3 wires now, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have a turn signal. So I've got a high beam, low beam for the headlights, and then a turn signal. I was going to go get one of them headlights. These are regular steel beams here, but we offer a really nice. Do we still have those for a deal? Man, we used to have hundreds of them.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And but it's got a little. It's an LED turn signal light. So we'll switch this out and put that LED turn signal light, and your turn signal will be right on the bottom of your headlight, at least for this particular one. Kind of where I'm at now is, and we got to get a sensor for the water temperature and oil pressure. So we'll determine where we want to put those on the motor. There's several different places that you can put that. So pick a place that's convenient, that gives you a good reading, and that you can get to access pretty easily. And actually, I don't like it to be in your face, so if I can get it hidden somewhat, I'll do that too. I think what we'll do, this is a dolphin kit here, dolphin shark. We'll just do like that whole product review thing. And we like these gauges. They're a little bit, I'm going to say they're not near as expensive as, say, an Autometer or some of the Stuart Warner gauge or something, but we haven't had quality issues with them. The only thing, if you use the electronic odometer, the way they tell you to set it, you go a mile and you do this and you push the buttons and you back and forth, and it hardly ever works, and it's a real pain in the butt. What you're doing is you're setting the frequency. So if you happen to get that one, read the book. The book tells you all this, how to push the button to get it to the frequency. And most every phone, I think your phone, you usually ride with me when we do it. My phone, if I figured out how to use it, probably has a GPS. And you can drive down the road and you don't even need a speedometer. You could use your phone as your speedometer. So what we'll do is we'll go down the road, and if my phone is saying I'm going 55 and my speedo says I'm going 65, I just change the frequency, and I just up or down the frequency to match until it's calibrated right. And that's the easiest way to do it. So if you happen to be using the electronic one, which I like, that is the only issue I've really found with these, is do it that way instead of the way they tell you to do it. That's just my opinion, but I like the way I do it, and that's how I'm going to do it. These come with the kit. You have all your brackets to hold the pieces in, all come with the kit. You got a little hardware here for putting your oil filter. Now, the one thing that they had, the tack for a while was an LED light in it, and it was a different type of light than the other ones. I think they've fixed that though, haven't they?
I don't know if they have or haven't.
I'm sure, because we had an issue with it, and now I don't think it's like that anymore because we don't have that issue. But one of the lights was, when you put the lights on, it was a little bit brighter on it, and it wasn't good. So I think they've taken care of that. It was a tack that was different. Now the tack just plugs in, you know, no issues for your light, that is. And if you use the 4-gauge or the 3-gauge package, there'll be a gauge that has all the fuel and the oil and all that into one gauge, and that just plugs in. That's pretty nice on one plug. The back of the lights on these, you've actually got a wire separate, and you can see that it just plugs into the hole, and you'll have a positive and a negative there. I just use the ground off of all of the gauges themselves and have my wire for the lights come up under there. It comes with your sending unit for the gas tank. I think we'll make a program out of just putting this into your gas tank. We'll make the gas tank for this one, but it's got to be cut down and bent and everything. It's so that your gauge reads when it's empty, and when it's full, and you don't, you know how sometimes on a car you fill it up full of gas and it'll only go to a half tank. That's all based on how this is bent and how this travels up and down and where this is placed. So we'll go over that when we put a tank in. Josh and I, we went over things this morning. What does it need? What's left? We're down kind of to the end of it. I'm going to put my gauges in today. I was trimming up underneath. I got to get an oil trans cooler fit up in there. The customer, Randy. This is Randy, right?
No, Kevin.
Kevin. This is Kevin's car. Does Kevin watch? Kevin, if you're there, say hi. And matter of fact, it's a good time to talk about this. We were kind of analyzing what do people watch. And it's kind of strange. It's not the ones that get the most views. Sometimes we've got a couple videos out there that have thousands, tens of thousands of views. But some of the ones that are watched the most don't have as many views. So I was looking at those that are watched the most, and you know, what do I do to suck you in? We want you to watch it past. If you're this far into it, you're probably going to watch the end, and you probably already know this is coming up before too long. And we're kind of an intimate little group. Matter of fact, can you read what they're saying right now?
Mm-mm.
Not on your phone. You can't see.
Mm-mm.
So how do we get that technology?
Well, no, that's Facebook. You'd have to have a computer sitting here.
So we need a computer sitting there.
Yep.
Well, we're kind of an intimate group here. So, as a matter of fact, I'm moving in close. This is how intimate we are. So there'll be probably maybe 1,000 people will watch this little thing that we're doing here. That was our Zoom. This is Josh's Zoom. So we're trying to make it a tech thing. We're trying to be helpful. We're not wanting to build your car for you. We want to help you accomplish building your car, whether it be in the shop here or most of what we do is kits. So we're trying to give you some helpful hints at home. And even if you don't have a Spirit kit, hopefully we're giving you something that's helpful. But as we really think about this, we want to, I think we're going to try to do a show again, something on YouTube that's actually edited and can be up there, and you can look at it a year from now or 5 years from now. All these all these Facebook things, they go on our page, and they start going down on the page. And as I was thinking about it, if you've been watching this build and you want to see this build from start to finish, you would have to look at a lot of video, and hopefully Josh put some good words to it to say what we're doing. And so what we'll try to do on our Facebook page is stay on one project until it's done, as much as possible. We've been showing you the Larry and Larry cars, and I'm not sure how do we label them. We have Larry 1 and Larry A. So we have A1, they're both A1 customers. So we have A and 1, but which is which? So we have I told Larry A1 with the 27 Tall T that we're going to have his car fully mocked up before we blow it apart to do the paint. And the other A1, Larry, his car is ready for paint. That's the coupe that we've been working on. So we built a rear panel for that, and you've seen some of those. Anyway, my point being, I'm going to try to keep them in order here so that we can have something. If you want to see this from start to finish, maybe, you know, I got a week's worth or so, it's kind of going to be in order, and you can go back and look at them all. Your comments are really very important. We're going to try to set up something so you can talk and ask us questions while we're doing this, and that would be helpful. It's kind of intimate. We're sharing each other's time here at 11 o'clock. We appreciate you coming and taking your time to be with us, and we want to make it useful. We don't just want to be here rambling and carrying on, which I'm doing right now. So we've got some wiring. Moving ahead, tomorrow, if you're interested, I'll probably have most of this done, but this is very important, especially if you're running a carburetor. It's made by Edelbrock, a 600 carburetor, which for whatever reason, it's a really good carburetor. It's more carburetor than you need, but it's cheaper than 400, and there are a lot of them out there. But if you get a 600 Edelbrock carburetor and you try to run it on a basic 350, it's going to want to flood. It's just too much carburetor for what you're doing if you do not regulate the flow of the gas. You want to run three or 4 pounds of pressure. So this one doesn't have it on it yet. It just goes from the fuel pump right to the carburetor with a line. So I'll be installing this fuel regulator on it, and prepare to get frustrated if you're going to put one of these on. I've got a cabinet full of brass fittings to choose from. It's going to take a lot of brass fittings, and maybe it's like any plumbing. If you do plumbing at the house, it's 5 trips to the store later. Well, you may need to go to the parts store a couple times to get all the right fittings, but absolutely you will be glad that you put this fuel regulator on if you're running a 600 Edelbrock carburetor. So that'll be tomorrow's project. That'll be done, and surely we're going to have the gauges in by then. Whether I have this on or not, I will at least show you and talk to you about running it and running the fuel lines. Anything else we can talk about today?
I think so.
No, we got it. We do appreciate you being here. Christmas is almost here. We're getting excited about that. I'm getting excited about I got chickens at the house now. We're going to do coffee break contemplations. I'm building a chicken coop at the house. Should we do I'm not a survivalist, but I'm a conservative tree hugger. I'm one of them PETA guys. You know, what does that stand for?
I don't know what PETA stands for.
I think that's people eating tasty animals or something like that.
Oh.
Well, anyway, I've got goats and all that at home. Are you going to come do some video at the house? We can show me building the coop or something. And this is perfect for today. We're here to entertain you, I guess. Let's see what this whole thing says. It's my friend of mine, Ernie, Hot Rod Man, wrote these. Entertainment is a product enjoyed by people who understand that life is not always drudging. The greatest way to create balance is to allow one's self to enjoy work. So I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. I'm hoping what we're talking about is entertaining, but it's going to help you enjoy building the car. We say we don't build cars here, we build dreams. So the goal is to have your dream become an awesome dream, not a nightmare. So your project goes smooth, things happen, you got it like this. I had to trim a little bit on the bottom. It is what it is. Get your car built the way you want it. Don't get frustrated. Don't get too anxious. It's a project that you can have fun building. So thanks for being with us today.